Welcome back, Overwatch fans, to another amazing night.
We have a fantastic match tonight, no question about it.
Oh my god, yes!
With the barrage! Make sure they can't even follow up afterward.
And Wash is down 2 in this fight thus far. Make that 3, make that 4 right now here. Dynamic team gets a 4-man tire!
Those who find the picks will save the fight, and they don't really need to save what they've already won.
100 gets 3 with the primal rage!
Experience tranquility.
Welcome, folks, to the Tranquility Gaming EU Harmony Finals here between Venice Vipers and Feeders United. I'm Toasty, and I'm going to be joined here by Citrus, my good friend and co-caster, to bring you the coverage today.
Hello, everybody. I'm very excited for Venice Vipers against Feeders United, a matchup that happened before, Toasty.
Yeah, absolutely. This matchup has happened already in this bracket. I believe just previous to the upper finals, so it must have been upper round 4. But not too long ago actually, and this did not end very well for Venice Vipers.
Nah, Venice Vipers unfortunately lost that 3-0, but it didn't really, tell the story of how close that matchup really was. The first map, which was Control, was very clearly in the way of Feeders United, but afterwards, Venice Vipers, they just put up a really good fight. They were having an amazing match on Hanamura, which was a 7-7. Can you believe it? Which is one of the, I think, going furthest in terms of scoreline that I've seen in a while on Hanamura. And afterwards, they lost 2-1 on Hybrid, which was Eichenwald, and then a 3-4 on Route 66. So not at all that very decisive in terms of Feeders or for Feeders United, but rather really close.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's what we're going to be highlighting today is like how close this game could be. It's not so clear-cut between these two teams, despite that previous result. And like you say, that was that 7-7 on Hanamura, that draw in the middle of the match that could have given Venice Vipers some hope going forward. Obviously, they didn't manage to close it out based on that, but it's a pretty long Hanamura map. It probably takes a lot out of you. I mean, that's at least 30 minutes of gameplay. I mean, I've had to cast a 37-minute Junkertown before, and it was not fun, so I can imagine for the players, they'd be even more tired. So let's hope we don't get a 7-7 Hanamura today here, Citrus.
Definitely. And what I think is pretty impressive as well is that Venice Vipers, they came into this bracket, into the playoff brackets as the number 5 seed from the regular season, and Feeders United as the number 2 seed. So that they are still that close in their last matchup, even though Feeders United won that 3-0, it shows that all of these teams are pretty well matched up and they're pretty strong in their own way. And I think in the last match we've casted together last week against EU Scrimbugs, they showed that they are the better team, but EU Scrimbugs as well, they fought a really good battle. They were pretty strong opponents to be reckoned with.
Yeah, we saw that specifically in the map they won last week on Busan. And we were talking about this a little bit. Venice Vipers didn't look so good on Busan, both against Feeders United and against the EU Scrimbugs. So obviously later on in this series that could be a weakness point. Obviously we're not starting off in Busan, we'll be starting off in Ilios as our first map, but it is very interesting that that's the one map that EU Scrimbugs won, and then throughout the rest of the series as well. I mean, they made it close. The final map of Nepal, the one that was closed out by Venice Vipers, that one was extremely close. I mean, that went pretty much the full distance, and yeah,
and honestly, very lucky for Venice Vipers that we don't go to Busan again, because Feeders United, I think you told me this, were going into this as the upper seed, and therefore they had the map pick. So they kind of saw probably that Venice Vipers aren't performing too well on Busan. At least the stats were telling that story. So maybe they could have gone there again in hopes to defeat Venice Vipers. But maybe Venice Vipers, they also adjusted. They took their faults and just, deleted them. Whatever it is, we're not going there, so it's all good for Venice Vipers in that regard, and we can only hope that they perform better on Ilios.
Yeah, I think Ilios is actually quite a big difference as well from Busan, right? Busan, particularly on Sanctuary and Mecha Base, you're going to be playing at least some sort of maybe rush-based stuff, or some maybe Shadow Dive, that kind of thing, but there's that one map of downtown that kind of throws a wrench in the works, whereas at Ilios, pretty much all 3 of the maps you've got to play Winston on. I don't see a way you don't play like some 6-man on Well. You could, like, 6-man's also very viable on Ruins as well. You can even throw in like a Widowmaker into like a regular dive on Ruins. Like, there's a lot you can do on Ilios, but none of it is very brawly. It's all very open sightlines. So I know we didn't see too much rush last week, but at least throws a wrench in the works there in comparison to Busan.
Yeah. And I'm interested in how well Venice Vipers are gonna be on that dive-heavy compositions, as you said. Because they were running mainly to double shield, right? Against EU Scrimbugs, they, which were obviously the team that preferred this kind of divey style, they played double shield to prevent EU Scrimbugs from keeping them very, how do you say that? To pick off the only targets, the single targets across the map. They stayed together, they sticked as a team, and that opened up the opportunity for them to just take that 4-1 this last matchup against EU Scrimbugs. And I think it will be very interesting how we're gonna see them perform on this map now.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting. I think Ilios is a map where you can run some of that double shield, but Venice Vipers, I would honestly say that was probably just a way for them to deal with the EU Scrimbug style, right? EU Scrimbugs throughout the season, throughout even before the season of Tranquility, right? I knew them way before that. They have always been this kind of divey Pharah team that, play some of this, the Pharah Tracer. On occasion, maybe you play some Sombra Pharah, that kind of stuff, but that's the kind of style they've been tending towards, a very fast-paced divey style, and that was dealt with very nicely by Venice Vipers, so either a bit of a coaching diff there, or maybe the team themselves came up with it, but it depends on the style of Feeders United, which I can't comment on too much. I haven't casted them at all this season. I know they have some pretty serviceable DPS players, is all I've been made aware of. So potentially you could see like a dive style as well, to like rely on those DPS players a fair bit, but I don't know if Venice Vipers, compared to EU Scrimbugs, it's going to be harder for them to prep against Feeders United. That being said, they did play against them like a week ago, so...
Yeah, but regardless, as you said, I think both of these teams have good tools to work with. We've, or at least I have been very convinced by all the players from Venice Vipers last week. They were very strong, and in 9, Tumatra, Jollis, Skyflower, Augusta, and Mate, they have really good players that are just... They can step up whenever it's needed. They can perform, and I hope they show that today as well, because they need to. It's the finals. It's the one match you have to show up for. You have to give it your all in order to win, so let's see if they can just perform that stellar performance again that they've showed against EU Scrimbugs, because Made was playing out of his mind. Skyflower was just consistent and throughout the whole series, and all the other players as well, they've just been good.
Yeah, I feel like most of Venice Vipers' squad is, pretty serviceable, very good at what they do. But again, I think the two names we've got to point out are Skyflower and Mate. Mate was absolutely tearing through the EU Scrim box last week. Obviously, got a bit robbed, I would say, of the player of the match in favor of someone like Skyflower, who was putting up a really good support performance. And we don't typically say that about main supports, right? It's a very difficult role to stand out on, and yet Skyflower just impressed me the entire way through. So you have a pretty good squad here if you're the Venice Vipers, and Feeders United, obviously, they've beat the squad before, so they're even more menacing, I would say, in terms of what they're probably capable of.
Oh, by the way, do you know if there are any MVP candidates on Feeders United?
I don't know. You could. I could check right now if you want. I don't know where it's found, but
Yeah, same. I'm trying to find it right now, but I can't find it. Either way, like you said, I don't really know what Feeders United can bring to the table, since I haven't really seen that much of them as well. And we have to, I guess, let ourselves be surprised by how well they perform, but they don't get into the finals just by, not playing well. So I guess they are pretty good as well. And I can't wait to see how these two teams play against each other, as it seems like both of these teams are going to be ready to play against each other. We're just waiting to get into the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm pretty sure most teams actually had MVP candidates. I think it's more about like who gets actually voted in as the overall MVP. So I would bet safely that Feeders United do have some MVP candidates on their roster. Who those are, we've got no idea. We're hoping maybe someone will tell us that. But yeah, we're getting right into things here on Ilios, where we're going to see Feeders United kick off against Venice Vipers.
Actually, it seems like we don't have an idea as well, because it appears like we had a little bit of misinformation. We're going into Busan. So...
Oh, this is Busan. Oh, I just realized.
That's fair enough. It was a change at last minute, it seems like. Honestly, we'll have to see. It's the smart decision here for Feeders United, because they've won against Venice Vipers before on this map, so they know that they look not as good as on the other maps. And so maybe they think, yeah, we can do that again. We can pull it off. We can just force them into a loss again. And we'll have to see if this will ring true this time around again.
Yep, we will see. And Venice Vipers got a pretty uphill battle here. They're rematching the game from previously 2 weeks ago. So I'm hoping to see them come back with a little bit of vigor here. We'll see them on the Zen Brig composition. So this is Skyflower on, their best hero, as far as I'm concerned. And you get 9 and 2 Madre, of course. Playing this Sigma Ball, it's very nice. You're able to hold down kind of your backline, keep Jolise, Registar, and 9 all pretty safe and alive here. There's a lot of poking happening so far, as How to Draw does end up going down to their opposing number of that Wrecking Ball. Doesn't quite crack open the point just yet here for the Venice Vipers, as they have to approach towards it. I believe Rubix was there trying to cap it up, being a little bit sneaky, but they'll get taken down, and Jolise cops the kill onto the enemy Tracer. I'm not sure how much value the Widowmaker Tracer is going to get here, Citrus.
Yeah, very true. I think the Tracer is still a nice idea, especially copied or coupled, that's the word I was searching for, with the Hammond. So you have a really good go in fast, maybe take out an enemy fast as well combo. Though, as you said, the Widowmaker has some of these long sidelines, especially on this map, but it maybe doesn't work out this perfectly, especially against Venice Vipers comp, because the Cassidy is going to be pretty good, I think. Then obviously you have to take care of the Tracer as the Widowmaker, and this is not going to be very good for you as a Widowmaker. So you have to hope for your Tracer to get made into the duels, to just distract him from the Widowmaker. Then you have to look out for the Hammond as well to make it work. But that's a lot you have to look out for in order to make this comp succeed. So I'd rather see a little bit of a switch up as well, or maybe Azul in the Brigitte is just that good in, protecting your Widowmaker from the Hammond, maybe from the Tracer as well, so you don't really have to worry about anything. But I don't see that happen very often, so I'm very concerned as well.
Yeah, I'm really concerned about this compositional choice here for Feeders United. Obviously, they couldn't know that this is what Venice Vipers were going to run. I especially think that it's a Tracer duel here as well that is really going to have to be taken by Jinx, which is not the nicest thing into Mate, right? One of the best players here on Venice Vipers, in my opinion. Able to make pretty much any DPS hero work that we've seen them on. Tracer here obviously being one where if you have a high mechanical skill, you're pretty much guaranteed to win those duels, and as well, just in the neutral game as well, even if you're not taking those duels. I mean, Mate is already 60% ahead of Jinx in terms of that pulse bomb charge. That's just how much proactivity has been going on here for the Venice Vipers, and we're only one fight in.
And, that fight, it didn't really look that great for Feeders United, because they basically did what is on their name, they fed. Because they were all over the map, they were spread out a lot, and they took fights they couldn't really win because Venice Vipers, they were together, they stayed together for at least a little bit, and they were able to react to the calls. Wait, there's an enemy here, let's try and catch him out of guard. And that is what happened. They got the kills early on, and then Feeders United wasn't really able to get back. And so far, it shows in the ult percentage. As I said, they were then trying to back up and got caught off guard by doing so. And Venice Vipers, they were able to get the cleanup pretty confidently and pretty cleanly as well, with a triple kill, I think, or at least 3 kills or with participations for Jolise.
Yeah, Jolise as well is a key part of this composition, right? If you're opting for the Cassidy over something like an Ashe or an Echo or anything like that, maybe even the Pharah, if you're opting for this Cassidy style, you've got to be able to sit with your Sigma and just pump out damage. Obviously, Jolise did that towards the end of the previous team fight, and it also gives a little bit of protection against something like Jinx and how to draw, right? You'll notice here with the composition that's being played, there's just so much more protection here for your backline on the side of Venice Vipers than there is for Feeders United, because, the Cassidy obviously has better peel than the Widowmaker. In terms of the Widowmaker's also more squishy, so more susceptible to dying in the first place. And Skyflower's Break is really, something to be reckoned with, so it is a really powerful backline and really powerful core you've got here for the Venice Vipers. So
we've discussed what went wrong so far, or what could be going wrong in the future as well for Feeders United if they don't switch up their comp. But what do you think should Mzumi switch to in order to, just fix the composition? Because a Soldier would be a pretty good pick in my opinion as well, especially on this map we see Soldier a lot. The mobility Soldier brings is just really important and can work out wonders.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think a Soldier pick is what you want to go to here. I think you'd play like the Cassidy or the Ashe. If you really want to keep your backline alive, if you're going to go for an all-in dive, honestly just throw Rubik's on the Diva and put Mzumi on the Echo. But that doesn't seem to be what they want to go for here. That early kill there means, though, that there's a bit more time gained here. Obviously, Feeders United are now back in action and ready to go, ready to rotate into the next fight, but Mate's Pulse Bomb could throw a bit of a wrench in that, or Registar's Volley as well. A very nice kill there onto Yurei, taking them out. Mzumi, though, making this Widowmaker pick look good. They take down Jolise, that's a threat eliminated. And 2 Madre has to skirt around the sideline away from the fight just to get healed back up. They're going to try and chase down how to draw now. They managed to fall. The amount of kills that are coming through here for Feeders United off of the back of Mzumi, it's going to be tricky, but Venice Vipers, they've been in tricky situations before. They're trying to turn this one around. There's only a couple players there remaining right now, and Mzumi and Rubik's able to hold things down and flip this over, but 75% is great here for the Vipers.
Oh, definitely, and it didn't really look that decisive as well. It looked like Venice Vipers were able to hold on to the point because they got the kills. They got pretty strong kills on top of that, and Regusta is just tearing apart the enemy backline as well.
And talking about the backline, Mate and Tumadre
Oh
are currently
my God.
diving it with a great power drive that takes down the backline in an instant there. And Tumadre, that's one for the highlight reels for sure. 9 here just trying to hold down the point and just get rid of how to draw, because they're the main pest that you've got to get rid of in this situation. There's the flip coming back over, and now we're pretty much in last fight territory already.
Yep, and it looks pretty good for Venice Vipers, because they have the ultimates coming into this. They have a lot of things to work with. And even though Fetus United have 3 ultimates as well, with the Gravity Flux coming up 4, it's not that easy for them, I can imagine.
Well, the rally comes through here from Azul to give him the clean rotation in, and Joe Lease gets whipped away as they're trying to proc that high noon. It's going to be Jinx going down here, though, as Mate manages to take them out, and that is the kill that kicks everything off. Some great minds there to zone off that side rotation for Tumadre, and Regustar just fragging out towards the end means that Venice Vipers take the first round of Busan.
Yep. They did not decide to switch things up, to switch their composition, and in the end they, yeah, got the receipt. Because Mzumi was getting killed not only by Jollies and Mate, but also by Regustar. And as a Widowmaker, you don't want to get killed by the Zenyatta, you want to kill the Zenyatta. There's a big difference if you didn't notice, and I think Mzumi was just unfortunate on that one, but they could have switched things up. Either way, we have now a dive composition coming in from them, so they did switch it up this time.
Oh, but what on earth is this? This is actually dirty coming through from the Feeders United. They're playing Doomfist Reaper, so this is like your typical 6-man, but instead of the Sombra, you're going for this all-in style where you're going to dive on one of the backliners. A Skyflow is on the brig, but will he even be able to deal with the amount of pressure that will come out from this? That is the question, as Joe Lease rotates up to the high ground, gets all that information into the cubby, as that's a lot of damage coming through there onto how to draw. They almost go down, but they'll be healed back up by Yurei. There's a lot of healing resources being put into that, though. It means that this engagement will have a much less punch for the Feeders United, and with the Doomfist having to run away because they're on such low HP, Venice Vipers able to just use the spam damage and get their way in. Yurei now is going to use his Coalescence, trying to keep their team alive, but the amount of burst damage that Flux puts out is immense. 9, catching 3 towards the end of the fight, and flipping this back over.
You know, I feel like I've seen this before. A dive composition into the double shield of Venice Vipers. I can't remember. Where was it, Toasty?
Oh, I wonder where. Maybe it was literally last week. Oh my. I'm not sure about this.
They look pretty strong. They were very close to being killed off there, but they held on, and then, oh my god, did they get the kills, because 9's Gravity Flux was just proven too much for Fetus United, and how to draw Mzumi and Yurei's Coalescence. They weren't able to stay alive because of all the damage coming through, and now the percentage is building up on point. They have the ultimates, they have an Echo, and they basically have everything ready for the next team fight.
Yeah, they do, but it's a quick engage, I'll say that, for the Feeders United. They're right in there. Mzumi now built up towards the Meteor Strike. They're going to use it. With the backline falling, it's going to be very difficult to make a clutch play. Meteor Strike into the middle of the squad right now for Mate, I believe that was. They duplicated the Doomfist a bit earlier on. Neither Meteor Strike got anything, and with that being said, the Venice Vipers just clean house.
Yep, pretty quickly, pretty impressive yet again, and it proves that their double shield composition just feels a little bit better, and now I like this coming out from Fetus United. They realize that their double shield composition is pretty strong against their dive composition, and now they try to engage with this barrier.
Yep. Sound barrier, it's a bit early though. Azul not going to be able to protect against like Gravitic Flux. Now it's a Death Blossom into the back to try and do something, but Joe Lease and Mate both clapping back, getting 2 kills apiece. Who cares if every ultimate under the sun is thrown at them, because the Venice Vipers just come back with their DPS presence and clutch it up.
Venice Vipers, they are prepared for Busan this time around. They are able to focus over time and to recontest a point, Toasty.
Yeah, but is it a great recontest? Probably not. Every ultimate was thrown into that previous team fight, and there's some stall swaps here as well from the Feeders United, means they'll have even less to work with. As that's a team kill going into that last fight, and the Venice Vipers look absolutely transformed after last week.
Yep, as I was saying, they are looking prepared for this map. They look way better, and it yet again they prove that their double shield composition is a force to be reckoned with. They have their ultimates combined pretty well. Jawless, Mate, they are just so incredibly dangerous, and Regusta as well was finding the impact last week as well, but so far is stepping up tremendously.
The entire squad is stepping up tremendously right now. I'm telling you that much.
Yeah.
Everyone was contributing to that. I mean, you had 9 with the amazing Gravitic Flux that came through, to Madre with the early bull gameplay, Mate and Jolise popping off as usual. And, you know, Skyflower and Regustar both thregging out and pretty much never dying. I can't fault Venice Vipers for that amazing adaptation they made coming into Busan this week, as they go 1-up against Feeders United, so immediately changing things up after that game just a fortnight ago.
And maybe Feeders United, they were a little too comfortable with this pick. We've talked about it in lengths before the matchup, that they beat Venice Vipers on this map before, that Venice Vipers was beaten by EU Scrimbugs. And I feel like Venice Vipers, they ran a different composition when they played against EU Scrimbugs as well. It was more of a divey composition, and also, I think, a Rhine composition on the second point, which was the mecha base. And this time around, they played their most comfortable team comp. They play the double shield. They play Mate on Echo. And I think all these parts together, they just show that they are most comfortable with this. And when they are comfortable, they are able to just go out there and win it.
Yep, indeed. And, well, now comes the fated 2CP, right? It's second in our map pool here, so we get it out of the way pretty early on. It's going to be Temple of Anubis right here. This will be Feeders United pick, because they obviously lost that previous map. And the Venice Vipers here, they're going to be pretty happy they're not going to Hanamura again, I'll tell you that much.
I think Feeders United as well, because it was this matchup between them two that went 7-7, and I think none of these two teams want something similar happening again. And especially in Hanamura, you can play the Symmetra as well, and Symmetra is a pretty annoying hero for 2CP, to be honest. And Temple of Anubis is one of the only 2CP maps, I feel like, where you can't really play a Symmetra, where you have to settle for other different compositions. And Venice Vipers, this should be their map pick, I think, because last map pick was from Feeders United. So they beat US Grimbugs here with this double shield composition, and I have a feeling that they are going for this comp again.
Yep, the double shield would be the smart thing here, but I want to kind of disagree with you that the Symmetra is not viable here. I casted a game just about a week ago, you know, a couple days after the previous semi-final game, and there was a team that just straight up ran the Symmetra on Temple of Anubis. They just TP'd from, if you're looking at it from the attacker's perspective, from the bottom right to the point, and it completely circumvented a double shield. Obviously, that's not going to happen here, as we get this double bubble seeming to come through for the Feeders United, but it's an option there if this goes to extra innings, this goes to extra rounds, and they want to throw a curveball out there. They can play the Symmetra.
Yes. They can play the Symmetra, but
they're not going to.
No. And Mzumi on the Widow here again. I think this is, for the attacking side, a pretty okay pick. You just have to look out for Mate, because Mate on this Echo is not only very comfortable, but also very quick. All getting half health here, but not an early pick that they were looking for.
Yep, no kills coming through from the Widowmaker, in fact. They're going to stay on it. They're going to look for some extra kills, see if they can get anything, because that's how you want to engage with this, really. You're not going to have that power of the Echo to burst things down. In fact, neither will Venice Vipers, as Mate gets taken down early on. Joelise with some very nice shots there onto Mzumi, though, punishing them for that high ground positioning. And with 3 players now down, the Venice Vipers shut down that push immediately.
And yet again, it shows Venice Vipers as this double shield composition. They stay together as a team. It's very hard to dive on. And so the double bubble can work out, but you have to be very careful while doing so, because the monkey will get just bursted down as quickly as possible from the enemy team.
Yep. They really want to run Mzumi on the Widowmaker here, but with the presence that can come through from Mate, it's going to be a bit more tricky. And again, Mzumi not able to get in position to do anything there by the time How to Draw falls. And Venice United, they're struggling a little bit.
And I would like them seeing change up their composition again. Maybe throw in a Reinhardt, try to rotate as a team, try to play as a team as well. But they don't really have the DPS for it as well. Mzumi is, as you said, still on the Widowmaker. And Tracer with the best Jinx is on a flanking position. And look at them, they're trying to engage.
They're engaging in this tight room as well. This is great for a Nano Primal Rage. It's going to deal a lot of damage, but who cares? Mate and Doom Madre just mowing everyone down, using that tight corner, that tight area to use that spam to its full extent. However, like you say that, Jinx gets a 2-man. And looking for a third one here is Izumi, but they won't manage to catch Mate before they get away with their life. Looks like Jinx will chase that down and kill them off, though, so there is pretty much no potential for a re-engage here. Very nice chaos there from Venice United to get him at least 2 ticks for this first point. I don't think there's going to be a recontest. No, it doesn't look like it.
Oh, Joelise is recontesting, is getting...
Okay.
Oh, they're actually all going on there, Toasty.
I thought it was just going to be an extra stagger from Joelise. I thought they'd die instantly and that'd be it, but they waste an ultimate going into that. Madre invests the Bongo, and Mate invests the duplication onto the Zarya. They're fully charged now. They're going to try and put out a lot of damage and build up a Graviton Surge, but the bubble is in the way, preventing it. There's a grab. It catches onto 3, but where's the follow-up? None of the other team members are here for the Venice Vipers, and they have just wasted 3 ultimates on that re-engage.
Yep, and now the snowball potential is on the side of Venice United. They're still being held up here by Registar, who's trying to get the kill onto Azul and actually gets it. That is amazing. But now, like, they can't really... Because Registar got this kill, they can't really go fast. They can't really aggress as fast as they would like to if they have a pick. They need to wait for this Brigitte, because Brigitte has the rally as well, and this is going to be crucial in this engage.
Yep, Skyflower also doesn't have that rally. I think they used it in the previous fight in that re-engage. That didn't actually work out for them. They did get the kills from it, but not unfortunately stopping the cap. There is the pulse bomb from Jinx. Catches on to 9 on the Sigma, so removing a pretty crucial player early on. The Immortality going to be forced here by the Primal Rage from How to Draw as well, as they are just accosting Joelise in the spawn room. They're going to get away with their life right there after the anti-nade comes through. 2 ticks on the board now. There's going to have to be a recontest for the Venice Vipers. Looks like that'll be 9, sacrificing their life to get back onto it. Joelise ready to protect Registar here as they get a kill with the anti-nade. A great high noon to catch Azul out, and the recontest works there for the Venice Vipers, but 2 ticks going to be gained there is not at all anything to scoff at for the Venice United.
But do you know why this high noon worked? Because of the sleep onto Azul. If Azul would have lived through that, then I think they could have stunned Cassidy out of the high noon. And because of the sleep from Skyflower, or was it Mate actually? With the Echo? I'm so confused right now. But because of the sleep, they were able to get off this high noon and get this still back into their own hands.
No, you're correct. It was Registar there. They went on to the Ana. They swap back to the Baptiste now, so they give up that ult charge. And that's going to be a problem for them in this team fight. However, Yurei being gone here for Venice United, I mean, that Nano isn't going to be online. You're not able to keep How to Draw alive here. And Mate's Echo is just tearing through the Brawl composition. Best Jinx is going to do their absolute best to try and get rid of that Echo. Mate does fall. It's a little bit too late in the team fight for that, though.
Incredible work we see right here from Venice Vipers, because they are able to clutch it back time and time again. And I'm pretty much wondering how, but it's just Mate and Jolise are able to capitalize off the work from their teammates and just do the damage that is required to just get the point back.
And How to Draw here, gonna suffer a lot of spam on this engage. They have to rotate through this right side and look for Mate, but they're just going to fly away. Now there's no target to go for. It's right into the core here, I suppose, for Feeders United, as they try to approach towards the point, but Yurei missing all their shots onto Jinx, finally getting that heal through, but How to Draw falls in the meantime. Azul will get that kill onto Mate, and there is some opportunity here with Jinx online, but Jolise shutting the entire push down in one fell swoop.
Again? Again?
Jolise MVP question mark?
That's just insane. Wow. You shouldn't be getting this much impact with your High Noon. I
don't know how it keeps happening. I really don't.
Me neither. I'm just generally speechless right now, because I have no clue how they are able to set Jolise up for success.
The man was too stunned to speak. Oh, but How to Draw here, I mean, okay. Jinx has a High Noon, there's a Shadow online here, there's something to be had here for Feeders United if they can get in and stay alive, but I Jinx it there, and before, it was right after they died anyway. How to Draw just falls immediately, the Bongo deals so much damage, and Best Jinx, I mean, they use the High Noon, I don't even know when. It seemed like they got zero value out of it, completely invisible, unlike Jolise. And that is a great hold on second from the Venice Vipers, making sure they have a guarantee to not go to extra innings on 2CP.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Venice Vipers, you are incredible. Honestly. Feeders United, I think they kind of found their footing going into this second point, because their dive composition worked pretty well on the second point, because you didn't really have to go through one choke. You had more options to choose from. You had more possibilities to find a pick that is just singled out of their team. And in the beginning it worked, because they had the ultimate advantage. They had everything going for them. And Venice Vipers, they stall, they bring it back, they find the picks early on, they capitalize off the hold from Marissa, and they just do everything that is required perfectly to bring it back. And right now, they look really strong. So I'm interested what the answer for Feeders United is gonna be. Because now they realize double shield was a pretty good idea. We're gonna do this as well. The Hanzo is a pretty good shield breaker, so if they should go for a double shield of their own on the attack, which they don't, it would have been great, but also the Sigma is just gonna suffer from the shield break as well.
And Jolise this time around is gonna be the one playing the Widowmaker. I suspect this is just for a starting kill, and they'll probably go back to something like the Tracer or maybe an Ashe, potentially. I don't think the Widowmaker is sustainable here. I think they should learn from Mzumi's mistakes, but maybe not. They're going to look for some kills here over towards the bridge as 2 Madre looks for an engage. Has no adaptive shields online, so it's going to get bursted down, it appears. They get their health back and they stay alive though, and now it looks like Venice Vipers, they've just forced their way through the left side, completely uncontested. Mzumi is all the way in spawn, just trying to deal with Jolise, but they're leaving their team to rot as Rubik's falls. And right now, the Venice Vipers, they take that advantage, they take the positioning, and they just break open point A much quicker than the Feeders United did.
Yeah, and honestly, it's because the ball, even though it was... Tumadra was going so very low, caused enough commotion, they caused enough chaos for the rest of the team to push through, to just keep the eyes on himself for the rest of the team to go into position to force Fetus United off the high ground, and it worked perfectly.
Jinx, looks like they have 2 Madre's number. They know they're doing something around the right side, but now it's going to be the rotation into the point. 2 Madre just distracting a little bit and giving Venice Vipers a little bit more ground to work with. They have a Transcendence for the engage if they want to use it, but Joe leads with the starting kills here. Jinx and Mzumi both go down to start with, and now it's going to be the mines coming through from 2 Madre, encompassing the point. Regustar fragging out on the Zenyatta as well. Everyone on the Venice Vipers is contributing to this at the minute. It's going to be the recontest from the Genji, but what can they get done? Because they're not on the point, they're not able to recontest it. And Venice Vipers go 2-0 up with a very dominant attack on Anubis.
I really like what we see here from Venice Vipers. Not only is Julius switching to this Hanzo from the Widowmaker, after seeing, hey, you're actually playing Hanzo against us, that's a pretty good idea, I'm gonna adapt that, and is able to get the shield break, is able to get more impact with that as well, is able to just get the damage done, and then there's also Mate. You can't forget Mate. Mate is gonna be there in the air looking for you. And Mate is just incredibly good on this Echo. Time and time again, we only see Mate on... I don't think... Wait, in the beginning, Mate played actually Tracer, but...
Yeah.
The majority of the time, Mate is on this Echo. It's probably his comfort pick. He's incredibly good at it, and if you're gonna attack the second point with 3 tanks, because Mate also copied a Reinhardt, you're gonna have a really hard time.
I mean, everyone here for Venice Vipers is just popping off. I don't even know what to say at this point. Like, I could go through like I did on map 1 and name every player and something good they did, but it's not even needed at this point, because I think the viewers can see for themselves right now, Citrus, just how dominant the Venice Vipers are. Fetus United, I'm not sure if it's just not their day, or if the Venice Vipers have really adapted their playstyle and have just somehow climbed like 1000 SR, because this is insanity.
And as you said, Fetus United gave Venice Vipers on the second point just
This isn't meant to be an insult to whoever their coach is, or whoever their main shot caller is. Maybe they have a plan cooking up for this map, right? But I'm just super worried about Mate's Echo here. I'm super worried about the fact that maybe you could even just run the double shield here for Venice Vipers. You don't have to run the dive. Like, there's so many ways you can just integrate Mate's hero pool into this, this composition, this line. And right now, I mean, they're teasing Arisa Hog on the defense with a Torbjorn in the mix. This would be the most troll thing if they went for it, and by the looks of things, a small glimpse we had there, they're actually gonna roll out on the Arisa Hog.
It's actually not a troll pick, because Numbani is one of the only maps where I think Torbjorn is viable. You can set up the turret either on the left or the right side, and very far behind on the high ground. And it works wonders because it's just very good aerial defense. It's a flank watch. It basically does everything you need probably 2 people for. And so that's pretty much a good pick in my opinion. And against this dive, it could work pretty well as well.
Yep. This Torbjorn, this Hog could both work wonders against what Venice United are playing. In fact, if I was Venice United, I would swap off and play like some sort of rush composition. You know, while you've got the Ana here for the antis onto the Hog, target focusing the Hog is like, it's not the play here. It's so tanky, right? And Ana's generally the only counter to Hog anyway, right? So it's really tricky here. Like, Rubik's is going to have to jump off the map now to get their mech back, and it's going to just take a bunch of time off the clock. And Venice Vipers, they're just going for a flank. They're just walking in the underpass.
Oh,
okay,
no.
Here's a punish onto 9 though, or maybe not as that wall comes through. And again, like, you can anti-9, but can you actually approach them?
I was gonna question myself, what is actually the composition Venice Vipers is going to go for on this map, because I don't think double shield is that viable on here. Maybe the first point, yes, but there's so many high grounds you have to look out for, and Roadhog is actually a pretty good idea, because you can just hold hook combo really well. And, oh, Registar's going very low.
Yep, this is the thing about playing the Zen, you're going to get bursted down quickly like that, and it's up to 9 now to try and deal with the divers, get that anti-dive potential through. They do manage to de-mech Rubik's, and it's going to be the Mei catching out how to draw, and Rubik's there, so the tank line is gone right now for Feeders United, as Joe Lees jumps up towards the high ground with some nice Mei tech, but they're not able to do anything to help to Madre on the point, as Joe Lee's just desperately tries to DPS diff the opposition. But listen, you're not me, you're not going to be able to pull off a 1v6 on Mei.
How many times did you pull that off, Toasty?
I'm not gonna lie, never.
Fair enough, but you're actually a pretty good Mei, so I believe in that. It could have happened. I would have... I really didn't doubt you. Either way, going into this next fight, Feeders United have a Nano Blade ready. And this is gonna be very good if you don't get halted, if you don't get hooked, if you don't get caught up in a blizzard. But right now they're diving the backline.
Yep, Jinx once again trying to approach towards the backline. Registar now very susceptible to a Dragon Blade coming through from Mzumi. But Mzumi, in the face of a whole hog, is just pushed away from that, unable to get anything from it. And Joe Lees just beams down Mzumi with that cryogenic blaster. A nice, well, I was going to say nice solid defense coming through here from the Venice Vipers, but it's not over yet. The Diva's still in the team fight here as Rubik's gets nano boosted up and bursts down to Madre. It's Jinx now trying to burst down 9 on the sidelines, trying to protect their Ana as that sleep comes through. And Feeders United turn that one around against the odds.
Oh yeah, against the odds describes this pretty well, because they had everything going against them. And still... Venice Vipers, they have 4 ultimates. They now switch to Sigma because double shield yet again is pretty good on this later half of the map. And they are able to recontest Toasty.
Yep, they're recontesting here. It's going to be Mate sending out that welcome mat and getting 2 with it. And 9 here with that accretion kill onto how to draw, removing the Winston from the team fight. So it's a pretty good recontest. It was an expensive one though, I'll admit.
But you know, the cost on side of Feeders United is way greater, because you lose time, precious time, if you're going into the defensive half of the matchup. Because the more time you have, the better it is for you. And right now, it seems like Venice Vipers is taking that part, and they try to get as much time off the clock as possible.
Yep. And just to apologise for the Twitch chat there, I believe you've had a dead feed for quite some time. I'm not sure if that's been fixed yet or not, but let's hope it has here. Because I'm going to keep on play-by-playing anyway, as Joe Lees, good stun there onto Jinx, but doesn't actually take them out. It's going to be the Nano Blade coming through now from Yuri and Mzumi. In fact, I don't even think it was a Nano Blade. I think it's just a neutral blade coming through. They managed to catch 2 with it, and while Registar does finally get that kill onto Mzumi, it doesn't quite matter. As that team kill will come through, the horn sounds, and yeah, Feeders United finally approach onto 3rd point here, where potentially the Arista Sigma, close range anyway, could get a little bit better.
And still 3 minutes, it is pretty good actually. You are happy with that going into this last third of the map? And you have ultimates coming up as well. You have a Tracer, you have a Monkey ultimate coming up soon. And this is gonna be huge. Flashbang is actually gonna miss, so still Jinx is such a menace in the backline, but finally getting caught out.
Yeah, who's a bigger menace right now? Is it Jolise or is it Jinx? You tell me. The kill feed says it all right there, as now it's how to draw, being pestered out on the sideline again by Jolise. The anti-dive potential of the Cassidy is so immense, especially in this team fight when you're playing close range like that.
And still, they are able to just get so much time off the clock to waste the time of Venice United. And this is going to be crucial going into the next fight. Now, it seems like hard engage onto Jolise. Is Jolise able to stay alive?
Yeah, Jolise barely keeping themselves up. It was with the help of the mentality field there as well from Regustar. A good kill there onto Azul, and Jolise going to follow up onto Rubik's. Can they burst down this Winston? Oh my, that was instant. The Amplification Matrix doing a lot of work there for Jolise, helping to take out how to draw. And they'll still hold on despite the amount of chaos that was in that team fight. And the investments, right? I mean, the Nano and the Primal Rage.
That was just beautiful to watch. As you said, it was a hard investment with the Primal Rage and the Nano. And Monkey just getting burst down immediately by the combo of just a right click and the Amplification Matrix. That was way too convenient for Jolise and Regustar. And such beautiful team play right there, and I can't recommend enough to try this at home because it works wonders against the diving Winston. But it's not something you can just anticipate from this side of Venice United, so they switch things up yet again, which I like.
That was almost a catastrophe there for Team Madre. Thank goodness they found the payload. Managed to hide behind it in the face of the bomb, and that blade gets completely shut down. Jolise once again clutching up massively there for Venice Vipers. The Gravitic Flux comes through from 9. It ends up catching out onto Rubik's. And now, with another fight going the way of the Venice Vipers, we could be seeing another Anubis situation where the first few points go good for Venice United, but now it's going to be last fight territory, and they're not going to have an opportunity to have any ultimates.
And even though they pushed really far, as well on Anubis, they pushed really far as well. They got 2.5 ticks. But it's not gonna be enough if Venice Vipers are gonna be as strong on attack as they were on Anubis. So they really have to hope for a finish in order to not get completely bursted down.
Talk about getting bursted down right now. It's a very big brawl in this small room. Jolise just pops the High Noon in the face of it all. And the Bongo comes up massive there for Team Madre, giving that damage boost to all of their squad, allowing Jolise to do their thing. Skyflower as well was just, happy to brawl in there. We've seen that many times from this Brig player in the past, so very nice defensive half there, coming through from the Venice Vipers. Could have done better on point A and B, I'll admit, but it's very difficult on Nubani to hold those points anyway, so let's hope the attacking round, like you say, is going to be just as good here for the Venice Vipers.
I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure if Venice Vipers are a venomous snake or if they are a constrictor, because they took the hopes and they crushed it. They took the hopes of Venice United and they crushed it immediately here on this last part of the map. And now they just have to hope to have a better defensive half, which might be the case, but with how strong Venice Vipers is looking right now, you have to just switch up things tremendously, I feel like. And I'm not sure what the answer could be for them. But what I like to see from Venice United is that they are willing to switch things up. They switched the Monkey into Orisa just in the last fight territories there when things didn't work out, which I think gives them a little bit more sustainability and so on. And with now Venice Vipers running the double shield, they don't really have the ability to contest high grounds right away. So maybe trying to catch them off guard and just deny those rotations to the high ground is going to be crucial for them.
well, who cares about the high ground? You can just sit here on the low ground and push into the point. Not that you know, it's not as going to be easy. The anti-nade comes through there from Ure, so it deals a lot of damage. Forces out that immortality field, in fact, from Regustar, but still, Venice Viper's happy to just bait the enemy squad in. Mzumi being the first to fall to that, as 9 is on such low HP there. How did they stay alive? It's best Jinx up to the high ground now to try and rain down some bullets upon the opposing squad. Venice Vipers going to be suffering to that. 9 in the small room looking to deal some damage. But right now, I mean, it's Feeders United. They're going to be the ones that are trying to invest the ultimates now to try and win this out, because they're in such a bad position because they played into the hand of Venice Vipers there. They went into the small room. They're taking the fight close range against the Arista Sigma, and they're falling one by one because of it. There's the kill onto Best Jinx, and with Jolise just completely happy to sit here, throw in some shots from the high ground, and even though Rubik's kills off Mate in the Baby Diva form, it does not matter because Venice Vipers are the Venice Vipers.
I don't think that was a really good trade to go for. They, Venice Vipers, they were so very low because of the nade. And Jinx was just on a very big flank, and so they couldn't really capitalize off of that. But by the time Jinx was basically back on track, they had another anti-nade ready, and they threw it in there. They hit 9 again, but again they weren't able to get any kills, because I think the focus fire just lacked. They didn't really have several teammates focusing one person down, and it shows. You see the result right now.
It's also really tricky for them because they're playing into a double shield with an immortality field and a bunch of healing to boot. Not that that matters when you have a bomb coming in like that. The immortality field can't save them there. 9 and Mate clearly not in the midst of it. And that's a great recontest there from Feeders United to make sure they get this defensive positioning. And it's so important that they get it here because they have high grounds to play with.
I think, I didn't really see it, but this bomb right there worked perfectly because the Arista shield was placed and the Sigma shield was broken. So that is the one downside from Venice Viper's composition right now, is that they're very immobile.
Yep. Talk about mobility. Mzumi here with the Dragon Blade dashing about, trying to get some kills, and Jolise just juking and ducking away from them. Mzumi finally finishes off that kill, as now it's Mate in the backline trying to get something done, but can't do it alongside a Regustar. The payload's obviously still moving just a little bit. The tank line stays alive here for the Venice Vipers and actually gets a kill. 2 kills. Okay, maybe it's completely turnable off the back of 2 Madare and 9 now. The Jinx is going to have to invest that pulse bomb onto Skyflower,
nice.
Removing the Brig and making sure they don't have any stability to work with. The Nano Boost will be invested here onto the Best Jinx just to make sure that there is no potential for a recontest here from the Venice Vipers. They have the way better spawns, and that's why How to Draw has to invest the Primal Rage now to kill off Jolise, to get some disruption in, and make sure there's no opportunities for that recontest to happen. But again, everyone in Venice Vipers is here now, and none of those ultimates meant anything for the Feeders United.
And very tragic. As I said, none of them meant anything, and look at, they're still engaging on the fight.
Yep, it's still going here, and finally it looks like Feeders United are going to stabilize just a little bit. They remove the DPS line from the game. Skyflower is going raid boss mode and looking to use that rally health to play aggressive and deal some damage, looking for the opposing Brig right now as Azul goes down. Again, it's potentially winnable for Venice Vipers in this team fight when it really should not be.
Oh, right now it seems like finally... Oh no. Maybe I jinxed it? I don't know. As you said, it looks winnable even though it shouldn't be. And Feeders United, they fight this pretty well, I feel like. They fight in very good, but they're not able to find a closure onto these fights. And Venice Vipers, somehow they're able to stay alive because their people that got picked off early are already back. And this is what's very hard for Feeders United to deal with.
Yep, and that's just going to be the point B cap. I mean, what on earth was that, Citrus? The Blade gets invested there by Mzumi towards the end. Now they're going to go over to their Doomfist. So, playing again that pocket Doomfist pick. And this fight, I mean, it's going to come down to pretty much one fight to try and recontest this with Feeders United. All they have online here is the Nano Boost for Yurei, and it's going to be 9 that can probably prevent it with this Gravitic Flux. It's going to catch on to 3 members. They're going to slam them right down to the ground. Jolie's going to get stunned out with that High Noon midway through it, but they still manage to catch Yurei in the midst of it. 9 now, anchoring on the point, just sending those Hyperspheres here, there, and everywhere. Rubix is going to have to try and peel back and get onto this point as Mzumi returns as well. No one is here to help them on Venice Vipers, so they're going to have to back up, back towards this choke just a little bit. There's a bomb coming through now for Rubik to try and sustain this, point presence just a little bit more, but it's ever so difficult because Skyflower now has the rally online. It's just a constant barrage of downward trends here for the Feeders United as there's so much pressure coming through. Skyflower playing so aggro off the back of the rally, and yeah, I mean, Feeders United, it's over for them. There's no way they 1v6 there. And that was a chaotic Numbani for the Venice Vipers, but now they're on match points.
Wow, I am impressed from what I see here from Venice Vipers. And I think a lot of the things that went wrong for Feeders United, they tried to fix. They were successfully in doing so as well, but in the end, there's a lack of closing out the fight and cleaning up the remaining members, because right there on the first corner, when they were on beside the bus trying to go around the second corner on the second half, I feel like there were only 2 tanks alive and they shouldn't have gotten the kills they've got, and everybody else from Venice Vipers was dead. They should have just closed out the fight. I feel like, had the remaining players necessary to get the kills, but it didn't work out for them. And by the time they nearly had them, Brick was there. Skyflow was back. And with this sustainability, which all of these members have, because Orisa also went golden, they couldn't get the kills. And then another teamfight broke out. It was Feeders United that wasn't on par with the man advantage, and Venice Vipers yet again win a fight they shouldn't have won. And that's basically the story throughout the whole of Numbani, because Feeders United, they looked better than what they looked on the previous 2 maps. They fixed a lot of their teamfight problems, I feel like, and still they weren't able to just have this finishing touch on all their comms, because this damn double shield composition from Venice Vipers is just so incredibly good.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. It's the sustain that comes through. It's the amount of damage you can have from this kind of Cassidy Echo that both Jolise and Mate can play. There's so many factors to take into account when playing into that double shield. And, in Twitch chat, I've seen people saying, just play Pharah, just play Echo. But, what do you do about your backline? They just fall over to the Orisa Sigma, right? There's so many factors to consider. And during this halftime break, it's going to give an opportunity for the Venice Vipers and the Feeders United to reevaluate some of their compositional choices. Mostly the Feeders United, though. I think Venice Vipers are going to continue running this, going to the next few maps. So we'll catch you with Gibraltar just after this break. Welcome back, folks, to the Tranquility Gaming EU Harmony Tier Finals. And, Citrus, this has been an interesting one so far. We're currently 3-0 up here for the Venice Vipers against Feeders United. They are one map away here from taking the finals.
They are, and this is do or die for Feeders United. They need to win this map in order to keep themselves alive. And still, even if they win Gibraltar, they don't look very good. They are not in a good position. They need to win the remaining matches as well. Like, it's not gonna be easy for Feeders United, and Venice Vipers, they are looking very strong at the moment.
Citrus.
Yes.
Are you an avid Overwatch League fan?
Normally I would say yes, but I didn't really have the time to watch Overwatch League, but what do you want to ask me about?
Did you watch Overwatch League in 2020?
Yes, I did.
Then I'm sure you're aware of the ever so loved Shanghai Dragons reverse sweep over the Seoul Dynasty, aren't you? This could happen. It could happen.
I am very aware, and I can only hope for that, because it would be incredible to cast. But, you know, Feeders United, they have to switch up a lot of things. They have to go from basically 2019 Shanghai Dragons to 2020 Shanghai Dragons. And I'm not sure if they can do that in just the half-time break, you know?
We'll see. Potentially. I mean, Feeders United, they've had like 10 minutes. They can do a full VOD review and coach themselves and completely change their team architecture in 10 minutes, right?
Totally.
Copium. No, but they've got chances.
They definitely should have had the time to talk things out, to figure out things, what went wrong, what can we change up, what they should have been able to see that Venice Vipers like to run this double shield composition, and they have had some time to think about, okay, what is actually going to work against them. They probably need shield break. They need more mobility, or maybe sustainability, because they had mobility, but maybe not mobility in a way where you can dive into them, because Venice Vipers are always grouped up. So diving them is not going to be easy on par, because we've seen that before with the double bubble. We've seen that with the dive composition as well. So maybe a Rhine with a Lucio, what they tried on Numbani, to try and rotate as fast as possible, try to force the fight as a brawl comp to Venice Vipers, and then brawl it out from there, because that, I feel like that could actually work if they try to brawl this, because it worked on maybe not entirely throughout the whole map, but you know, having Rhine compositions push the high ground as a brawl is sometimes possible, especially on the first point. On the second point, maybe not so much, and it's gonna be very hard nonetheless. No matter what you try, you need to just work hard. You need to have good team play in order to catch Venice Vipers off guard.
Yeah, Venice Vipers here. I mean, they've been quite readable, right? I mean, we know what they're going to play most of the time. It's either going to be the Orisa Sigma, it's going to be the Bulls Sigma, or it's going to be the Orisa Hog. So it's kind of three distinct styles they like to play. And right now, they're playing an anti-dive into a dive. So I'm not sure about this one, Chief.
Torbjorn, again. The Molten Core did so much work as well. And right now, they're just trying to progress for payload. So they're not progressing forward with all their teammates so far. But Jolis... Oh my god.
Yep, rest in peace, How to Draw, 2022 to 2022. Gets taken down there, so does Mzumi playing on the cart for some reason. And yeah, I mean, this is the anti-dive setup. You're going to sit up here on the high ground, and when they go to the point, you drop to the point and brawl them out.
I liked the idea, though, to progress the payload at first with only the very mobile heroes, in which was the Tracer. And I feel like they should do that still, but They have to find an opening. They have to find a pick they can work off of.
Wait.
And maybe Mzumi has a good angle here, but
Oh, they're doing this.
still
Oh, no.
an Orisa shield to try to work against.
Yeah, see, the problem here is that you're going to try and dive into this very small kind of car wash corridor that is going to be so hard to dive into. Now you'll see some aggression come through from the Venice Vipers trying to push out onto the tank line. As that's a great ante onto how to draw there as their nano boosted takes them out. And a great blizzard there to clean up from Joe. At least they're on 1 HP, somehow staying alive, and the turret is going massive there for Mate. A 3k. Listen, if we're giving the MVP to anyone this match, it's gonna be the turret.
But honestly, I liked the response here from Venice Vipers. Instead of pushing the lone Widowmaker, they wall her off. And therefore, Widowmaker had no sidelines to work off. And then they could completely focus on the other side where they could dove from. And it worked out wonders. They invested the Blizzard as well. Now they have to force against Pulse Bomb, probably?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I would love it like a Sombra into this composition, right? Shut down all the util at once, but it's not quite what's happening right now. Venice Vipers have complete free reign of this underpass because they can sit in this little health pack pocket. They have extra healing coming from that, and they have amazing cover. Like, the dive does not work into this. I'm sorry to say it, but
you don't have to be sorry because it's true. And right now, maybe they're trying to farm up a Nano Blade. They try to maybe get in with the Pulse Bomb as well, and then the bomb on top of that to do the job done.
No.
But
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. The 4K comes through from Rubik's, completely dislodging the Venice Vipers from their cubby. And you called it, Citrus, I'm telling you.
Okay, I wasn't sure, but now I'm convinced, you know? Because they couldn't really escape. They had nowhere to run to, and the Diva Bomb was just placed perfectly, I got to say.
Yeah.
Well done from Rubik's there.
It's going to be a recontest, though. You're going to get the re-engage coming through from the Venice Vipers here. They have a Blizzard to play with if they really need to use it. Azul is going to pop the rally here just to keep their squad alive. Jolise now has that Blizzard online. Gonna pop it just to ensure they get this fight win through. And it's after the rally goes off their Citrus. That's excellent timing from Jolise.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Honestly, these last 5 seconds right there are just basically telling the story for the whole matchup.
Oh, don't tell me you're going to wall him off in the recontest. That's absolute BM, Jolise. It's going to have to be the Winston getting in here and touching with that Primal Rage. Mzumi does have that Dragon Blade online, but what exactly can they get done with it with no Nano Boost on board? The Molten Core comes through, it's onto the point, and it does so much damage. Mzumi, so late on the Dragon Blade, taken down by Mate, using the Dorito to dink them up and take them out. And Jinx is the only one remaining here to really stall this out. The overtime burns down, and that is a full hold from the Venice Vipers in the potential final map of this series.
Excuse me? Like, my jaw is dropped. I need to pick it up, give me a sec. But no, really. I like what Venice Vipers is doing, because, as you said, anti-dive, they have a Blizzard, they have a Molten Core, 2 very, AoE ultimates to try and completely shut off an area. And this is becoming more and more dangerous the further it gets to overtime, potential overtime. And right there, we've seen it work. We've seen how incredibly difficult it is for Fetus United to work against the Blizzard and the Molten Core being thrown at them at different times. Like, Mate had the Molten Core in one fight, Jolise had the Blizzard in the other, and they could never progress. They couldn't get onto the card. Nothing. Completely shut down.
And
What?
this is just... It's just a massacre here, honestly, from the Venice Vipers. They're going to play the exact same composition again, but this time on the offense. And they've only got to win about 2 fights to make this one work. They're going to sit here on the low ground and endure a lot of spam from a few angles, but they've caught out Mzumi on the Doomfist, they forced the Immortality Field, and already Feeders United are going to be just kept in that small room with the Maywall. The point presence goes over to the Venice Vipers here. How to draw has to play into this. They're going to get anti-naded up, so have to be kept alive using other means, but they can't quite stay alive there. However, I think it's okay here for the Feeders United for now, as they get the kills on the board.
But the respawn times are so much lower for Venice Vipers, so the Rhine is still not there. They have to recontest or regroup as fast as possible. And even though I'm not really sure how to draw was being able to stay alive for that long, it's still, they need to be aggressive all the time and stay alive as much as possible.
9 does end up falling there, though. It's very nice there for Jinx. Helps them get that high noon online as well to hold down the point if they ever need it. A couple of fights going... Well, I guess that was 1 fight altogether there. Going the way of Feeders United. Some ultimates to boot.
Yep, and Feeders United, they can't really allow any mistakes. They need to stay this aggressive while also being aware of the possibility of a Molten Core and a Blizzard and a Nano and a Rally. So it's not going to be easy, but I feel like they have a pretty good idea of what they want to do.
Raid boss!
Nano
the Nano boost onto the Brig. Skyflower's going to go right at them. Pushing up towards that Lucio, forcing them away as Feeders United now going backwards. Rubix is going to invest like Gravitic Flux, but they get stunned out of it! What on earth was that? They get stunned by, I think that might have been an accretion from 9. Either way, a big cancel onto it. Doesn't even matter here, though, as the kills come through for Feeders United. It's going to be the Blizzard invested here by Jolise, and Mate once again is one of the last ones standing here from the Venice Vipers to try and get something done. They get those kills online, so there's 1 fight going their way. They're going to get through this underpass, and this is going to get extremely close here, Citrus.
That's very unfortunate here for Feeders United. If they would have been able to just, you know, get back and regroup as fast as possible, then they have a better chance, because right now the payload is progressing further and further, and they needed Venice Vipers to stay much further behind.
It's a good shatter coming through there, and a nice flank here from Jinx to hold up the Ana and make sure they can't give their team any heals. As all Registar can do is really try and punish this Cassidy. They finally go down, and so does How to Draw, so it's alright there, but I don't think there's anyone here for Venice Vipers to really follow up onto it as Yurei just frags out. And now it's a minute remaining. It's looking decent for Feeders.
And with this Lucio, I like it, because you can just boost your teammates back in with the speed boost pretty fast. And you need this speed. You need it because Venice Vipers are gonna be ready pretty much as soon as possible, because they have their spawn so very close. But right now, in the position where the payload is, it's pretty much even up. And then Zumi, what a nice pick, but Skyflower punishes this immediately.
Is it a worth trade? 9 is going to use this Gravitic Flux. It forces out the Immortality Field. There's a lot going on here for the Venice Vipers that they can utilize to their advantage. Well, Regustar goes down before they can use the Nano Boost. Very nice kill from Jinx now as Rubix is going to invest the Gravitic Flux. Manages to catch 2 with it. 2 Madray sent down to the ground. It's the Sigmas against the Sigmas right now. Rubix and 9 trading blows right now like it's Street Fighter. Mzumi comes back with the Doomfist, gets 2 kills, and somehow Feeders United on Gibraltar top the full hold and keep the series alive.
Wow. That is exactly what I needed. That is what I said they should run. They ran Rhine, they ran a Lucio. That is what I wanted to see from them. They just top it off with good positioning as well. And this is their way to success. And it's just incredible, because Venice Vipers looked so strong with this mate on the Torbjorn as well, which is, it feels kind of like an off-meta pick, but they made it work, and Feeders United come back after being full health, they just have gone like, wait guys, what are we doing? We can't lose here. We are in the grand finals. We need to fight. And that is what they did right there.
Hey Citrus, you remember
Yes.
in 2020, the Shanghai Dragons reverse sweeping the Seoul Dynasty in the May Melee Finals? I mean, listen, we've got a reverse sweep on our hands here potentially.
Well, we're not quite there just yet, you know? It is
We're on our way to it.
It is the first to fall, so they still have a long way to go, but we're on our way. So if they can keep it up, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be great. And what Fetus United just shown us on the defense of Gibraltar, I like it. Keep it up.
Well,
Do it again.
this time, we're going to be going to Ilios. So remember the start of the series when we were supposed to be going to Ilios and we got debated and actually went to Busan? Well, now, thankfully, all the stalling we did talking about compositions on Ilios won't actually go to waste because we're seeing it here. And this is a map where, you know, potentially the rush could be prevalent.
But you know, I have a feeling. Double shield.
I mean, listen, it's all Venice has been playing, like, this entire time, right? Other than, like, the Ball Sig, which they actually play here. Okay.
Which is also fine, because, especially on Lighthouse, you have a lot of space to work with. So Sigma is able to capitalize off the space, whether he's just floating normally or having a graviton flux ready. And Ball is so crucial in trying to get the damage in from behind, to diffuse your enemies, to just get into confusion and disruption, which is basically all a Ball amounts to. And trying to get the damage off because of all the disruption you've made. And so far, I like the composition from Fetus United as well, though.
Yeah, I mean, both of these squads playing pretty dynamic compositions. The rush coming through here from Fetus United, sticking with it after the previous map. Running the Sigma variant, which, you know, Rubik's did make it look good last time around. Amazumi, almost going off the map there. Very lucky they didn't. It would have been very embarrassing to catch on stream, as Venice Vipers just want to poke out from the high ground. Let that Bull, let that Tracer do all the work, and indeed they are, as 2 Madre catches 2 off the side of the map. And Jolie's coming in now with the damage, pumping in all the shots. Great opening there, created by 2 Madres. They find a 4K in that team fight.
Toasty, what
Yep.
did I say about disruption?
Yep, you were right.
And 2 Madre, if 2 kills from the grapple, pushing people off the high ground, off the map, isn't disruption, I don't know what is. And right now they have to try and get back onto the point to recontest. And oh, they're actually on the point without anything.
Yeah, I mean, see, here's the thing, Citrus. What 2 Madre is doing right now is not disruption. It's absolute destruction. As Joe Lease comes in with a 2K High Noon just to clean up. I mean, I never thought I'd be saying that about High Noon, but there you go. Nice 3K to finish off that fight.
Cassidy again on Julius, or the other way around, Julius on Cassidy. It's a match made in heaven, because throughout the whole series we've seen these high noons coming in so huge for Julius, and it's because the tanks are able to set Julius and the other DPS and mate up for success. And right now, back on the point. So what Venice Vipers is pretty good as to try and recontest this point.
So, Mzumi was the bait there, I think. I think Fetus United just left Mzumi out to dry. And, hey, that didn't work out very well for them, did it? Skyflower and 2 Madare once again getting in there on the Wrecking Ball, on the break. Doing a lot of work to recontest that. Mzumi now onto the Doomfist.
Right now, it feels like the point is only a trap for Venice Vipers. And Fetus United are just walking in constantly, time and time again. And they can't really do anything, and they need to figure out how do we just avoid getting picked off, and right now they don't have an answer.
Yeah, they clearly don't, as that's again some great disruption from 2 Madre, booping them all as they enter onto the point. Mzumi being spotted out by Joe Lease there, and actually completely punished Great presence of mind from the Cassidy player, as that's a great boop onto Yurei. Will there be any follow-up, Jolise? No, they can't follow up on it. They're booped off the map there. Rubik steals the kill, but that's all Azul there. And now this will be the flip coming through for the Feeders United. I don't think Mate and Tumadre, as just a unit, are going to be able to get much done here into 6, as Mzumi finally punishes up Mate. There's a flip, but a couple more team fights to go here for Feeders United.
And Venice Vipers can take their time. They can just regroup in peace. They can try to, you know, find some off-picks that are singled out and give themselves an advantage. And they've been good time and time again in trying to attack this point, while Feeders United are on there with full force. So I don't see any any possibility for them to just completely fail at this task.
Well, Mate building up towards this pulse bomb. That could be big when stuck onto one of these Brawl Core players, as there's a beat coming through the high noon from Jinx as well. Azul managing to keep their team alive through the midst of this, but for how long, as they all go extremely low? Tumadre blowing up the entire squad. Another 4K coming through for this Wrecking Ball player. And with a team kill on board, the overtime will burn down with absolutely no contest to be heard of. And that's the first round here on Ilios going to the Venice Vipers.
You know what would have been great there? Right there, when Tumadre dropped all the mines? The sound barrier. And you know what they didn't have because it was invested earlier on in the fight? The sound
barrier.
Yeah, completely interesting, and a little bit of a misplay, but there's not much they could have done because they needed it in order to stay alive, and it's completely mind-boggling that Venice Vipers are just able to put so much pressure, not only physically but also mentally, it seems like, onto Feeders United, because otherwise they would have waited a little bit longer with all these support ultimates coming through. Yep. So let's see how they fare on this second half.
I mean, once again, Citrus, we're in a position where the Venice Vipers are up, and they're 1 round away from taking the finals, and if there's any way to kick that kind of round off, it's gonna be a kill, just across the map, dinking Azul. How on earth that happened, I have no idea, but Jolise is just lighting them up like the baby right now.
Wow. I hate this. I hate it so much, Toasty. What is this reference? But right now, it seems like Feeders United, they're trying to retreat. They're trying to just get back into their composition, not feed more kills over to Venice Vipers, and try to recontest as soon as possible. Because I feel like we didn't say this enough. It's do or die for Feeders United right now. That it is potentially the last map, and they need to win.
I mean, listen, they've already won the team fight. 3 kills going their way. I'm not saying Venice Vipers haven't turned this one around before, but the players that are online right now, Registar, Mate, and Tumadre, aren't going to be able to get too much. You might get an exit kill here onto Yurei, but they'll get sped back by Azul, so that's all fine and dandy.
Yep, pretty much. I couldn't have analyzed it better. And right now, the ultimate compositions look pretty good as well on both sides. To Madre, you have to look out for this Hammond because the mines are going to be all over the place again. Maybe, you know, combined with the Graviton Flux that is coming in soon, but High Noon is also available for Jalus again.
Tumadre, distracting in the backline, looking for a boop, doesn't actually catch anything, and perhaps leaves their team to rot here as 9 is being absolutely pressured out there on 1 HP, trying to let down that Flux. There we go, catches onto how to draw, and here's a flip for Venice Vipers.
Jalise and a right click of a flashbang. Name a better comp or duo, because I've only seen Jalise do that time and time again, getting himself out of very difficult positions and just stay alive afterwards and get the kill on top of that. It's incredible.
Jolise? Inting, question mark? Okay, they're somehow still alive, and actually, it could be a good bait here. It's a little bit of a bait, honestly, because now, potentially, some of the members of Venice Vipers can get in position to deal with that, but no. No one really there, other than Mate in the backline, takes out best Jinx. The Transcendence was forced out there, so Great stuff from How to Draw, making sure that Zen doesn't have that online, and doing a lot of damage here in the back line. Going monkey mad, getting 2. The flip still has to come through though, and How to Draw whiffs their jump, so they're going to be in a pretty precarious position and taken down by Registar. Even if that trade comes through, Skyflower is still here in the skies, peregrinating up and down along the point, making sure that they accrue a bit more percentage. The mines are now going to be invested by 2 Madray, and actually, they're going to catch that kill onto Azul. Jolise, I'm not entirely sure where you meant to go there, but either way, they go off the map into the drink, and that's a flip coming through.
There was an attempt. There was an attempt at parkour, and unfortunately, it seems like it was a little bit misaligned, so they weren't able to get onto the ledge. But either way, a kill denied over onto the enemy team, and a little bit of percentage given to Fetus United, but maybe they're able to just re-aggress with the Gravitaflux and the High Noon from the Cassidy, which would be a pretty good ultimate combination as well.
Great early engage coming through there from Mzumi. Very nice, and now that beat is going to come through as well. 90% on the board, so this is a fight to invest the ultimates, and they're doing just that. There's a lot of damage coming through onto the Mercy, but they get away quite safely. That's a good kill onto Mzumi, but will there be any more kills here for the Venice Vipers? As Fetus United, overtime burning down, no one there to touch. And they're bringing it to a final round on Ilios. They are not going down without a fight here, Citrus.
Yep. And I think I need to give credit where it's due, because Fetus United, they are able to see, okay, it's actually crucial that we go in early here. We have a pretty good setup. We can go into the backline of the enemy, or we can just aggress early on here, because we need to get this fight done with early on. As I said, it was early aggression. They got the picks, and that is what allowed them to take the point right there. And I feel like it's working pretty well for them. And oh, nice teleport into the switch up onto the Doomfist. I like to see that. And with a Ryan Winston composition, they have a pretty interesting comp here, Toasty.
I mean, this is what they were playing on well. They were playing the Ryan Winston, and hey, it worked out for them, right? It doesn't in this situation as Rubik's pins off of the map. Very interesting play there. Seems like all the players in this game just want to commit Japanese seppuku off of the side of the map. As Registar frags onto 2, Skyflower also picking up 1, so the support line coming up big here for the Venice Vipers in this starting team fight, and once again, they get an early advantage.
Yep, and I like to see this because Yurei is able to come in clutch with the Immortality Field as well. Saves, I think, both main tanks right there, and also DPS, and they're able to get the DMAC onto 9 because of that, are able to get a lot of value, but still somehow they're able to turn it back, and now Jolise is putting in pressure.
Oh well, it's coming back though. Jinx and How to Draw getting here with kills. That's a great boop onto Yurei though to shut that down, making sure there's no heals to be had in this team fight. And once again, 2 Madray just turning an equal fight into an extremely winnable one with a 3k.
Wow. Yeah, they have a Cassidy, so they have a flashbang, but apparently that's not enough CC for this Hammond. 2 Madra is just able to go everywhere where he wants, and yeah, they need to shut 2 Madra down somehow.
Indeed they do, but with 60% on the clock, it's already looking a little bit tricky for Fetus United. 1.5 team fights pretty much, and that High Noon is going to find absolutely nothing. It's great timed mines there from 2 Madre to make sure they can't just sit there and hold that High Noon.
Team kill. Everything is set.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's incredible here from Venice Vipers yet again. 80-0. So, Fetus United, they need to go now. They have no ultimates to work with. They are going into 3 ultimates from the side of Venice Vipers. Oh, so no. It's going to be a dire fight.
And they're going into a smaller room with a bomb online here for 9. A great isolation onto Jinx in the backline as Rubik's lets loose that shatter, but the Transcendence is online there for Regustar. They keep their team alive through all of that, and Jolise just hitting the shots, getting the high noon through. How to draw will boop them off of the map, but this looks like it'll be it here, Citrus, as the Venice Vipers cleaning house, managing to kill the final few players, ravaging the Feeders United as the venom courses through their veins. And that right there will be the EU Harmony Tier Finals going the way of the Venice Vipers.
Incredible work here. I loved to see Venice Vipers just grow tremendously in their team fight ability. You know, we've seen them against EU Scrimbugs, they look good, but somehow EU Scrimbugs, they looked a little bit like they struggled against EU Scrimbugs, and right now I didn't see any of those struggles anymore. They came in as the 5th seed, they completely dismantled their opponents, and I had a question in my mind which kind of snake they are, but right now they're everything. They're venomous, they're poisonous, so their skin is also, it feels like deadly, and also they are a constrictor crushing Fetus United's dreams, as I mentioned earlier on as well. So, Toasty, wow, what a series.
Yeah. I mean, that's all we can really say about that series, right?
Yes.
Just wow. Venice Vipers coming up with 2 4-1s to make sure that they keep their playoff hopes alive. They looked like they were going to be down against Feeders United before, and it looked like this game was going to be pretty bleak for them in that rematch, but they come up big, and they are your EU Harmony Tier finalists and your champions, so very big congratulations to them. And Citrus, I mean, listen, it's going to be a hard one, this question, but I'll ask it to you, of all people, since, you know, you're the smart one out of the two of us.
Am I?
Anyway. You would think. Who do you think should be the MVP for this game? Our Grand Finals MVP?
Wow. I didn't think this question would come. I'm so unprepared because... Yeah,
May I suggest
honestly,
some candidates?
I have some candidates, but I want to hear which one you would go for. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll give you a handful of candidates. So we got 9, we got 2 Madre, we got Jolise, we got Mate, and we got Regustar, and we got Skyflower. Those are your candidates. The entire squad.
That's a tough one. Because I feel like you didn't narrow down the options for me there.
No, that was a point. That was a point, Citrus. They all played amazingly.
And yeah, honestly, that is the story we have to tell, because all of these players looked fantastic. Mate, yet again, with the aggression on the Echo, you couldn't shut him down. You had to try and single out the Echo in the air, but you weren't able to do so. Then, 9 with the Graviton Flux coming in clutch time and time again, lining it up and setting things up for everybody else to capitalize off of. To Madra and Jolise, they were able to get so many kills off the Graviton Fluxes so many times. Mate, with then also the Torbjorn pick? What? Making it work alongside the May of Jolise is incredible. And the composition, just putting ice and fire together, is incredibly smart as well, especially against the dive comp. And then having Regustar and Skyflower being consistent yet again. In the first map, Regustar was just completely destroying every other DPS on the side of Fetus United. Taking out the Widowmaker, taking out the Tracer as well. They had no chance against the Zenyatta, and only later on with a Doomfist, which is basically specialized in taking out such a low HP target as a Zenyatta, they were able to shut him down. And I don't know, I don't really want to get into all the immortality fields, because that would take too much time away. But because Regustar was hitting them all, Regustar was saving all of his teammates, they were able, support duo was able to heal their tank line, their DPS line up time and time again, coming in clutch when they needed to. When it was only the last 2 tanks left alive on Numbani, they were able to get it back, heal up their teammates, and win the team fight because of that. So I really don't have an answer, but if I have to go for one, I think it's gonna be Jolise for me.
Yeah, I think for me it was like a toss-up between Jolise or Regustar, really. I really loved Regustar's Numbani performance, I'm gonna say that much. That was the map that stood out to me for Regustar particularly, but I think Jolise the entire series long was just just hitting shots. I mean, the start of Ilios Well somehow finds Azul through the midst of like a Winston, a Reinhardt shield. Like how do you hit that shot? And like it was throughout the entire series as well. The Anubis gameplay was great from Jolise, I loved that. I think they did really great on just all of the maps in general, even Gibraltar, which they lost very narrowly, but they put up a great performance there. So I think Jolise really deserves the MVP for this match. Although again, we really cannot understate pretty much every other player on this squad. You know, as a team, they are the champions. It's not just one player here. So
yes, and just a little bit more confirmation on why Jolise is my pick is because you can combine all these ultimates, all the knock-ups from this Hammond, from the Sigma, and all the damage accumulated with also the sticky bomb from the Echo to try and get all these picks that Jolise did. But you can't really get that much value out of a High Noon from the Cassidy if you don't position yourself well.
Yeah.
If you don't get into a position where you actually can get all the kills from. And Jolise did that time and time again. We've seen 3Ks, we've seen 4Ks, we've seen complete wipes of Fetus United just with the High Noon, with the kill, just mouse one button click from Jolise, with the Blizzard as well, being able to freeze so many people, just blocking off the side of the Widowmaker on Gibraltar with the wall is not really that much of an example, but it's a very impactful one because they had a team fight plan. Fetus United had a team fight plan. Oh yeah, we're gonna leave our Widow in the back line, then we're gonna dive into the front line and pinch them, and Jolise completely shut down that thought, then froze them up and got all the kills with the Blizzard. And that's why Jolise is just my MVP candidate. And as you said, all of them were able to go through with what they wanted to do, with what they did in the end. They had good synergy between all of these teammates, and it paid off. It completely did. And
it really
it's
did.
Incredible.
And to be fair, like, we could name people all day and like give all the mentions and stuff, but I think from each role, I think we mentioned someone, right? We haven't actually talked about 2 Madre much, but that final map was just nutty from 2 Madre, so big props to 2 Madre there. I think the reason we didn't pick 2 Madre as MVP was because it felt like Jolise was just there for the entire game. 2 Madre oftentimes was playing well, but like Jolise was just having more like pop-off moments, right? So
only showed up really on the Hammond in the last
not only
3 maps.
They showed up on every other hero. It's just they looked really good on the Hammond compared to everything else.
It's gonna be very hard to have a performance as impactful as that what we've seen on Hammond with an Orisa, even though the holds were really good as well. And Orisa is just not that kind of a flashy hero, and Jolise was not only flashy but also consistent. And what do you think in chat? Because I
mean, looking at chat right now, it
I'm
looks like
interested.
they won Jolise and 2 Madre. It looks like so.
Fair
Jolise and
enough.
2 Madre are pretty good picks. So I think like we've got one from each role there. You know, 2 Madre, Jolise, and then Regustar. So congrats to those 3 for being our kind of MVP candidates, and then Jolise getting it overall. So I think that about wraps things up for us today, Citrus.
Yep, I am completely done because that was an incredible series to cast, and I couldn't have been happier to do it with you, Toasty.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great pleasure, as per usual, Citrus, and of course, great thanks to Kizzo as well, who, as we learned during the break, literally rolled out of bed to observe and produce this game. So big props to Kizzo for getting this production going. Big props to the entire Tranquility staff team as well, everyone doing a great job throughout the season, setting up the EU tier this season around instead of keeping it NA. Remember when I initially went to cast them and play to them, I thought they were just NA, so I thought I'd be getting late night casts. But hey, I'm here doing EU, so absolute pleasure. Thank you for joining me today, Citrus and Kizzo, and thank you all in chat for coming along and watching. Make sure you tune in over the next couple of days and into next week. Coming into the next few finals, you'll have the NA Harmony, Transcendence, and Discord tier finals coming your way. So to make sure you don't miss those, and we'll be seeing you.
We ain't gotta slow it down. Jeans on when we hit the town. We don't really care who's around. But baby, I'm with you if you gon' be down. 'Cause girl, you're just so calm.